Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to a brand new Flick Live late night edition. This is it. Don't get scared now. How are you guys doing? Thank you for not going to sleep because sleep is for the weak and the innocent. And we're not weak and we're not innocent, are we? No, we are not. We are few and we are strong. But with all that said, I want to talk about a few main movie topics that have sort of just been floating around on the internet for the last couple of days. And then, as per usual, we will talk about anything and everything that you guys want to with your questions. So if you guys want to talk about it, feel free to ask anything you want to. It's okay. We're all friends here. All right. So the first main topic I want to talk about today, and really, let me double check the audio here. Oh, okay. It works. Yay. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, technology. You're working. Okay. But the first main topic I really want to dive into today, it's the news that we have of Joker 2 coming out, which at first, yay, I'm excited. I really enjoyed the first Joker film. Say what you will about it. It was sort of like they borrowed the blueprint from Taxi Driver, but that's okay. I like a deep dive in a sociopathic, psychotic guy who's a loner, and he does unspeakable things, but I relate to it. Don't judge me. So what if he's wearing clown makeup and murdering people? I still relate to it. But the big news that sort of took the wind out of my sails was Lady Gaga is being rumored to be cast as the new Harley Quinn. And not only that, because if you have Lady Gaga, a musician, now they want to make it a musical. Now I'm hoping that that's a joke. I think that would be like a really clever joke if I was the director of the upcoming Joker movie, to make, oh yeah, it's a musical, ha, but not really. But if this is in fact true, and the next Joker film is a musical starring Lady Gaga, where every 15 minutes they break out in a song and dance as Joker's back there shooting people and doing psychotic things and stabbing people, and Lady Gaga's just singing on the streets, that is not a movie I want to see. Now, if that was a Broadway play, would I go to it? Probably. Yes, I would. Thank you. I would go to that. But this, I don't think that's the genre that we wanted to see with this. I don't think anyone wanted to see Joker be turned into a musical. I don't know whose bad idea that was, but they should be immediately fired and then dropped out to sea. That's a terrible idea. I hope that doesn't happen. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think that is the worst thing they could have ever done with this movie. Like, if they said it's Joker 2, it's a Western, I'd be like, oh, okay, let's see what goes on with that. But a musical? No, thank you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a dude who just hates musicals. I like a few musicals. I do. I liked Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I like Wizard of Oz. I like The Greatest Showman, sort of, kind of. I like La La Land. But Joker? We don't need a musical for that shit. No, thank you. Let's see what you guys had to say about this. Arthur's Joker would be so stupid for a musical movie. Yeah, now, in all fairness to the movie The Joker, there is a little bit of, like, whimsy when he's dancing around and he's imagining murdering people. He's just in his own universe. Leave it there. If he wants to just have one little musical number in his own mind as he walks down the street, cool. But I don't need Lady Gaga breaking out in a song and dance. I don't need it. Please, don't do this to me. Doesn't that just make you not want to see the movie? Like, hey, Warner Brothers, you had one thing that really worked. You had a really successful rated R film. It was critically acclaimed. It did super well at the box office. So how do we capitalize on that success? We turn it into a musical that no one wanted to see? Warner Brothers, what are you doing? Please stop. All right. Danny DeVito should be the next Harley Quinn. Why not just have Danny DeVito come back as the Penguin and he breaks out in a song and dance too? I'll show her my French flipper trick. Now that I would pay money to see. Please don't tell me I'm all alone in that. And we'll dive more into this in a few minutes with your questions and your comments. Just call it Joker Haha Land. You might as well. All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about was we got some news on the upcoming Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry, the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder movie, which I know we're all excited for. I actually do want to see this movie quite a bit. I was a huge fan of Ragnarok. This one, I have reservations, but I'm still going to be there opening day to check it out. But the big news is this is the shortest Marvel film in many years. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 59 minutes. So just a minute short of 2 hours. And right beside this, back in 2018, was Ant-Man and the Wasp with a runtime of 118 minutes. So Ant-Man and the Wasp was 118 minutes. Thor Love and Thunder is 119 minutes. And you know what I say to that? Thank you. You know what it is? There's this newest trend going on nowadays where you have to make every movie 2.5 hours long. Even if it doesn't have the story to necessitate such a runtime, they just do it anyway. For example, Jurassic World Dominion, half hour too long. It didn't have a story that needed to be that long in runtime. It had no purpose to be that long. They sort of ran out of shit to do, but it was that long, where it just makes you want to fall asleep. You could just take a 25-minute bathroom break, come back, get a popcorn refill, and you wouldn't miss anything. So with the news of this being 2 hours long on the nose, that's what this movie needs to be. Especially with Taika Waititi directing it. It has more of a comedic tone, more of levity, kind of lighthearted. And I think 2 hours is perfect. I think you're in, you're out, you didn't overstay your welcome, you got everything you needed, you had some fun, you had an adventure. Perfect. So I like that. I think 2 hours is the perfect runtime for a movie, especially like Thor Love and Thunder. Now, if it was like Avengers Endgame and it was 2 hours long, I'd say that shit's way too short. But I think for something like this, 2 hours is perfect. So do you care about the Thor Love and Thunder runtime? Does 2 hours sound good to you? Sounds good to me. Especially nowadays in my old age. I feel like my bladder's giving out and I have to take a pee break at least once every movie. Then again, drinking 7 gallons of Diet Dr. Pepper as you watch a movie doesn't help anything either. I'm going to start getting adult-sized diapers very shortly. I just haven't made the transition yet. And once I do, I will be sure to let you guys know about it. You guys are killing it with the super chats already, so I thank you for that. And I will dive into all of these in just 1 second. All right. You never heard of an R-rated musical before? There's got to be at least one R-rated. I think there is an R-rated musical, and for some odd reason I know this. It's called it starred Paris Hilton. It's called Repo Man the Opera, or Genetic Repo Man Genetic Opera, something like that. It came out like 15 years ago. I think that was a rated R musical. I never watched it, but I feel like when it comes to R-rated musicals, that's the only one I know of off the top of my head. And the last bit of movie news I want to talk about very quickly before we dive into all of your delicious, juicy questions, which I just can't wait to devour. I want to talk about a movie that I just saw a few days ago, and I put out a first reaction right here on this channel if you want to watch it. It's only like 3 minutes long, so if you have a short attention span, I assure you could probably get through the video. Jurassic World Dominion. Going into this movie, I didn't have high expectations, especially after Fallen Kingdom. Now, I will have a full-fledged review of this movie. I know I say that often, but this one, I will. Because you are going to have dinosaurs in your dinosaur movie. This was an atrocious pile of shit, as Jeff Goldblum would say. That's one big pile of shit. This movie was hollow. It was messy. It felt like the screenplay was written by a group of 4-year-old children that wrote it during recess as they ate applesauce. It was really bad. It was worse than I thought it would be. Like, it was almost to the point where it was boring. It was just downright terrible and boring. The entire second act of Jurassic World Dominion, just get rid of it. It was just filler. It was just giving Claire and Owen some espionage 007 spy mission in some foreign country where they didn't really need to be there. The script didn't need to take them there. There was really no purpose to do any of it. They could have condensed it somewhere else in the screenplay. But for 30 minutes of this movie, I was just like, this is going to lead to nothing. And sure enough, it doesn't. And then you have the villain of the film, who was an original character in the first Jurassic Park film, a very minor character. And I won't even say who it is, but it doesn't really matter. He was like a weird ripoff of Steve Jobs meets Bill Gates, but he's dealing in dinosaurs, but not really dinosaurs. He has this weird, like, Lex Luthor scheme to make evil locusts that are genetically engineered to eat crops, but not their crops because they want to control all the food sources. But even though anyone could figure this out, that had two brain cells to rub together. So really his big master plan that costs billions of dollars is just going to be found out instantaneously. And it is. That's the backbone of this movie. Not dinosaurs. A fucking scheme to control the crops. But it's so short-lived that it just felt really sad and moronic in a way. I don't know. I just can't believe this happened. This was the screenplay for a $300 million movie. This was the best thing. Like, someone wrote this all down on paper, right? And all these studio execs sat around and they went, oh yeah, let's fucking do that. Okay. But then again, these are the same people who have greenlit the last 27 Fast and Furious movies, which just get progressively worse as they continue on. So then again, did we really expect much more? I didn't expect a masterpiece. I didn't even expect something in the same universe as the first Jurassic Park. Did I expect something maybe similar to the second one? Maybe even the third one? No. I remember the audience, and it was a packed auditorium. And I felt like no one wanted to be there an hour into the movie. And I didn't really hear anyone that excited to continue watching it. I mean, sure, there's some fan service during the third act of the movie, which is it's very dark too. Like the cinematography and the look of the movie during the third act, it's so dark. Like they forgot to use lights or something to make their movie. But either way, I really hated the movie. I think it's unexcusable to make such a bad movie when you have everything at your fingertips. At least make an like, you don't have to make a great movie. Just make an entertaining movie. That's all I ask. And it didn't seem like they could do that. So either way, guys, those are the quick movie topics I wanted to talk about today. And now I will just get into your questions and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Because that's the good stuff. All right, let's start back about 21 minutes ago. Pierce Productions says, how good is your Pee Wee Herman laugh? I don't know why I read that like a robot. I was scared where that was going. I did that. Not very good, obviously. Hey, Francis. Yeah, not very good. I don't do a good Pee Wee, I suppose. And I'm sorry for that. George says, hey, John. Have you seen any Hulu original movies? Just saw Fire Island and Crush. Enjoyed them both. Thanks. You're the best. I did see, I started watching part of Firestarter. I did watch that Ana de Armas Ben Affleck movie, which was really bad. I watched like 25 minutes of that. I'm sure there's another Hulu movie. Oh, what was it called? Was it called Game Over? It was like a video game-esque movie. It came out last year. Or something video game related. Frank Grillo was in it. I thought that was okay. I am looking forward to the upcoming Predator movie, Prey, which will be a Hulu original film. So yeah, those are a few. Well, that's one movie I'm looking forward to at some point. Holy shit, it's late. Well, I called it Late Night Live Show, so the title is fitting. Listen, guys, if you're in bed right now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn your audio way down, just low enough to where you can just hear me rumbling in your ear. Close your eyes and let the soothing sounds of my voice guide you into La La Land, baby, okay? Sweet dreams. And then you'll wake up in about 40 minutes having a nightmare. You'll think I'm a parademon. All right, the next one comes from Parzival. Hey, John. Thoughts on the ending twist of The Departed? And say hi to your mother for me. Hey, where's your father? He's fucking my mother. I love The Departed. I loved how abrupt it was. I like how people just start getting shot in the head. That is something Hollywood is so afraid to do, but The Departed does it. And I like that. It gives it a sense of realism. But then again, everyone in that story served their purpose. and then they have to pay for their sins against humanity in a way. So I liked it. You know, sometimes good guys don't win, and sometimes bad guys don't win either. And I like that about The Departed. Claudia Rogajan says, what's the point of Joker without Batman? I think the first Joker, there was a story there that didn't necessarily need Batman. I think you can make a good Joker movie without Batman. Now, would I prefer Batman to be somewhere in that story? Yes, very much. But I think Joker's one character, just a sociopathic character who's intriguing to watch. He doesn't necessarily need this good guy to go up against. He can just be who he is in the movie. And I sort of like movies like that, you know. Movies like Nightcrawler, Joker, Taxi Driver, American Psycho. I like just watching bad guys do bad shit, but they're also sort of likable. That's the best villain, when you almost like the bad guy. I think that's perfection. So for me, I think the Joker is one movie that could work without Batman, but would I prefer Batman to be there? Sure. Tanshik Chandwa. And I'm sorry, I just mutilated that name. Terminator Salvation is the best Terminator movie since after T2 and Terminator, although it's nowhere close to them. Agree or disagree? I think the concept of Terminator Salvation was really intriguing. I remember being a nerd a year or two before that movie came out and reading the synopsis of the movie. And I was like, ooh, finally, they're doing it. We have like a post-apocalyptic wasteland, which, by the way, that's what Jurassic World Dominion should have been, like a post-apocalyptic wasteland of dinosaurs running out in the loose, eating people living in fear. But that wasn't it. It was just like, oh, everything's the same. Oh, but there's some dinosaurs over there. But either way, I like Salvation. I think it's the things that are wrong in that movie are blatantly wrong. And I feel like you could almost fix them. Like there was things you could have easily corrected in that movie, and I think the main thing that should have been corrected in that movie was Sam Worthington never being cast. That would have been great. He just did not fit the role, and that was during his hiatus of coming off the heels of Avatar, so he was being cast in a lot of movies, and then, until Hollywood realized he didn't really have the talent needed, and that's why he hasn't really been in a movie in the last 10 years. But I liked Christian Bale as John Connor in the movie. I thought he was a believable older John Connor leading the Resistance. And now let me break out my John Connor leading the Resistance impression. This is John Connor. If you're listening to this, you're the Resistance. I liked it. It's sort of a guilty pleasure movie at this point. Butterscotch says, hey, John. Been watching you for a long time. Never got to Alive. Why a musical, but why? I don't know. Hollywood. That's why. Somebody probably some CEO, studio exec over at Warner Brothers said, you know what I think the female demographic needs in the next Joker movie? I think we should make it a musical. And everyone goes, oh yeah, that'll appease 1% of the demographic who would watch this movie. Let's do that. And that's what happened. I don't know. That's only my theory. I don't know. It's just not a very good idea. And musicals aren't really making much money nowadays, are they? I mean, look at West Side Story. Steven Spielberg just directed. That was a flop. And thanks for watching, man. I'm glad you caught a live show. That's why I did this late for all the viewers overseas, man. Dakota, Minnesota says, sounds like a cowboy name. I like it. John, do you think we should get Top Gun 3? Or should they stop here since it would be incredibly hard to top? Also, any expectations for Fast X? Fast X, don't care. I don't care. Hit me in the head with a hammer and wake me up when it's over. I don't care about it. I just want it to end. Just everyone just blow up in an atomic explosion and then go out saying family and they all die together. That would be great. I would say Top Gun 3. I think if you have something to say, a story to tell, I don't know what that story would be, but I wouldn't mind a Top Gun 3. If the same director comes back, same screenwriters, and the movie made a shit ton of money, so it could happen. I'm sure Tom Cruise would be down to do it. So I don't feel like it'd be hard to make it better than the one that we just got, though. I think it would almost be reaching at that point, because the second movie sort of like redid everything the first movie did, but better. So what could the third movie do? I don't know. But would I like to see it? Sure. If there's a good story. Parzival says, thoughts on the twist ending of The Departed? Say hi to your mother for me. I already read that. That pop up again? I think you asked the question 2 times, but either way, man, thank you. All right, the next one comes from Abinash Mahatni. Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland, today's studios are becoming stupid. Sony with films and PS5, Warner Bros. With Disney and everything except MCU. All right, let's back up here. More of a Tom Holland fan at this point. I think he's proven himself to be maybe more likable on screen. Yeah, studios today. I don't know what they're doing. And, you know, like if you're a studio exec and you have all these like IPs that you own, that you know are successful, people like them, it baffles my brain that you don't just hire a competent screenwriter and then you hire a competent director and wait for it, and they just make a competent movie together. I don't get it. Like the fact that Disney isn't fast tracking the next Deadpool movie. You know, I don't. What are you waiting on? Just do it. The fact that we never got a solo Ben Affleck movie. I don't know. That things like that make me sad inside. Claudia Rogajon says, I liked Ragnarok, but it turned into a joke. I liked Ragnarok, and I think the jokes worked for that movie. I really do. I think it was fun, and it was slightly serious when it had to be. There was a lot of jokes, I get that. But I don't think the tone was inconsistent. I think it kept that same consistent tone, which worked for something like Thor Ragnarok. So would that work in a Captain America movie? No. Would that have worked in like an Iron Man movie? No. But for Thor, it works. Kung Fu Hot Dog says, hi, John. Thor Boobs and Thunder is a better title. Yes, I like that. I hope you're talking about Hemsworth's boobs. Pecs like that, you just want to sleep on them. Let's just go to the next question. Okay. Quickly. Taylor Goodwin says, I like the French Flipper Trick song, laughing my ass off. I did too. Give me that. That needs to be a musical right now today. And if that doesn't get made, I will. I will dedicate my life and start a GoFundMe. I only need $10 million to make that movie. I promise you. That's all I need. Majestic Beast 01 says, the Jurassic World trilogy, in my opinion, is just as bad, if not worse, than the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I think it's just as bad. Yeah, it's just hollow. It's void of any blueprint to actually carry a story and give you likable characters that matter. Everyone just feels interchangeable. It just feels almost disingenuous in a way. It just feels like things were being made up as they were going. I don't know why it's so hard to make an entertaining dinosaur movie. It shouldn't be that difficult. And on a real technical, like nitpicky side note, I hate the look of Jurassic World. I hate the way that movie looks. It's so dull and digital and blue. It just, the color grading or the color timing of that movie, just when I look at it, I want to stop looking at it. I'm like, the blue filter in that movie, just like, get rid of that shit. Give me some warmth. Give me a little bit of saturation. But I'm weird like that. Riley Johnson says, Jurassic World was the best movie of the year. Are you talking about Jurassic World Dominion? Because that makes you a liar. But if you did enjoy it, that's fine. I'm glad you did. I hated it, though. The most enjoyable movies I really liked so far this year were The Batman and I think Top Gun 2 Maverick. Thus far, those are probably my top two movies of the year. Now, I did see Lightyear last week, and I will say it's not going to make it into my top 10 movies of the year probably, but I will say this. It's exactly what it needed to be. Nothing more. It was, if you want a Buzz Lightyear movie, you're getting it. And for that, I was like, okay, I dug it. I actually have a first reaction video. Maybe I can put that out tomorrow. Kung Fu Hot Dog once again says 2 hours for Thor probably means they cut out the cringe. Yeah, it does make you wonder. It seems like that movie would have been a few minutes longer than that. I do agree. I'm hoping the cringe, and I think we all know what we're talking about here. I hope that's very short-lived. I hope that's a very minor, like 20 minutes of the movie. But who knows at this point? TT says, I might not mind a Joker musical since common criticism from today's CBM fans is that they're Jokered out and that the first Joker was a complete story. Yeah, but out of all the genres, you're gonna make Joker a musical. Like, I don't know, that just kind of takes me right out of it. Like, if there was like I just feel like if there was one scene, fine. But if it's a straight up musical, I don't know. I'm hoping that the director is. I hope Todd Phillips is lying to us somehow, some way. Maybe he means like the whimsical vibe of the movie is sort of like a musical, like it plays out like a musical, but they're not actually singing and dancing. That's what I'm hoping. Claudia Rogajan, is it me or was Goldblum always annoying in Jurassic Park? Your opinion is wrong. No, man, Goldblum was the best thing about the newest Jurassic Park movie, and he was in one of the thing about Goldblum is he gives a performance that only he can give, that only he can get away with. And I like that. I like when you see actors on the screen that have certain characteristics in acting style that only they do, because it doesn't make them feel interchangeable. Nowadays, in most films, you have good guy, you have bad guy, and it just feels like 87 other actors could play these same roles because they don't give them the freedom to have their charisma shine through. So, no, man, give me, if anything, I wish Goldblum had more screen time. Now, some of the stuff he's doing in the new Jurassic World movie kind of stupid and doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, it kind of feels like they were just like, oh, let's put Goldblum doing this, this, and this, but even though his character probably wouldn't be there in the first place, but he's there. So we'll talk about that at some other time, though. But I love seeing Goldblum in Dominion. It was one of the best things about the movie. Hayden Cash says, Johnny, I know this is off topic, but Walmart had a shampoo stand. What? Okay, what are you talking about? Johnny, I know this is off topic, but Walmart had a shampoo stand if She-Hulk. I don't get... Okay, I'm going to continue. They had a better design of her than Marvel did. Why, just why? Like a shampoo stand? Like a standee with shampoo and it was She-Hulk? Maybe I'm confused. I don't think her design's very good. I think a child with a green color pencil could probably draw a better She-Hulk than she looks in the Disney Plus series. But speaking of green She-Hulk shampoo, I actually would like to buy some of that. Zepsi Cinema says, nothing, but thank you for the super chat, Zepsi. Riley Johnson says, can we give some hype to Clone Girl? You had to do it, didn't you? You had to bring up Clone Girl, all right? And I'm almost glad you did. I'm glad you brought up Clone Girl because we will talk about Clone Girl just for 1 second. And I'm not going to spoil anything, even though I'd love to. But let's talk about Clone Girl, the little stupid character from Fallen Kingdom who just ruins all of humanity by pushing a big giant button as Claire and Owen just look by like fucking morons. Oh, you want to push that big red button releasing dinosaurs out into the public so they can just eat little kids at parks? Okay, do it, little girl. We'll just stand over here like this. Then she pushes that button and ruins everything. Why? Because they're just like her. They're genetically mutated freaks. Now let's talk about Clone Girl in this movie. First of all, they retcon her backstory because they knew how stupid it really was. And that whole cloning thing, yeah, they sort of got rid of that too. I don't even know why was her character, they needed something. Oh yeah, anyway. They could have just got rid of her character in this movie. It really didn't matter at all. But anyway, I hate the character. Yes, I hate little Clone Girl. Oh, God, I forgot about that. Claudia Rogajan says, JP Just the same island escape plot over and over. And that's true. Yeah, they sort of do the same thing over and over again. But that's better than any new idea they've had since the first movie, isn't it? Like, just have them escape dinosaurs. That's all we want to see. We don't need to see genetically mutated locusts. We don't need to see any of that subplot bullshit. We don't need to see evil Steve Jobs. We don't need it. We need none of it. So yeah, I actually, the best parts of these movies is when they're just running away from dinosaurs. Now, I think anyone that has like a creative fiber in their being could probably write a better script where they would put these characters in more interesting situations, escaping these dinosaurs, rather than these forced and contrived situations that feel like they belong in Uncharted movies. But yeah, I just put more dinosaurs in the movie. We don't want to see Clara and Owen talking about their relationship. We don't want to see little clone girl. We don't want to see that, but that's what they want to give us. And not only do they want to give it to us, they want to waste 2 hours of a movie. God, I need it. It's time. It's time we open up the caffeinated beverage. Okay, let's keep going. Zepsy Cinema says, who would be the villain in the next Batman? I want Mad Hatter. Are you excited for Oppenheimer? I am excited for Oppenheimer, the next Nolan flick. I think I'm excited for it. But the last few Nolan films, I wasn't the hugest fan of. I will say that, but I am excited for Oppenheimer. Has a great cast. Now let's talk about the first part of your question here. Who do I want to see as the next villain in the next Batman movie? Well, if it were me, and based on how the Batman ended with Gotham being flooded, it's at the very end of November. We're going into the winter season. I would have those floodwaters turn to ice. And what would I do in that cold, wintry Gotham City setting? Well, it sort of lends itself perfectly to a Mr. Freeze type villain. Now, do we need to see him wearing a giant fishbowl on his head, shooting a gun that shoots out ice particles? No, but we could have a little bit of that. So, you know what I mean? Like a more serious, dark take on that. It would be a little too on the nose, but you know it would make a really good Mr. Freeze? Heisenberg. Bryan Cranston. Shave that head again. Make him some cold-hearted serial killer, but deep down inside, he's doing it for all the right reasons. And I think that would be an interesting take. So what we would do is you would make Mr. Freeze doing all these evil things, but for the right reasons, just like he does in the animated show. He's trying to save his wife. So going back to what I said earlier, when you have a villain that you can almost sympathize with and you can almost agree with, and you put yourself in his situation, you're like, well, would I do that to save someone? Maybe. I think that should be the next villain. Some kind of new take on Mr. Freeze. Especially with that setting of Gotham City being flooded. Maybe some parts of it are inaccessible. I don't know. I think it would be the perfect opportunity. The next one comes from Ryman 6000. Let's hope the last 2 episodes of Obi-Wan are good. Let's just hope they're slightly good. Let's just hope they're better than what we've seen. I'm hoping they're good, man. I'm really hoping they savored all the flavor to blow us away for those last 2 episodes. Like, if you just give us 2 great episodes, it's like, okay, the other ones weren't that good, but at least you went out with a bang, right? This big finale, this epic conclusion. Obi-Wan's no longer incompetent. That would be great. I'm hoping so. But hey, in a few days, we'll know for sure. Parzival, is it Parzival? Parzival. I'm going to go with Parzival has become a member. Yay! Thanks, man. Thank you for that. The next one comes from MKF30. Who's crazier? You think the Joker or Carnage? Well, Carnage is a complete serial killer. Just straight up serial killer. Now, the Joker is a serial killer, but you know what? If I had to be stuck in an elevator with one of the two, I'd probably go with Joker. At least it's going to make me laugh, right? So I think who's more likable is the question. I think Joker's way more likable. Carnage, by definition, is just utterly insane. He's just crazy to be crazy. But Joker, I feel like he has more of a purpose. Forbidden Fruit 73 says, Pump Up the Volume is on HBO Max. I highly recommend checking it out. Oh, I will. I will at some point. Obed Orzagas says, Dominion was bad. Why they insist on giving us this? I don't know. I really don't. Like, tons of people are going to see this movie. Like, theaters have been packed. People want to go see a fun summertime Jurassic Park adventure movie. They want to see it. They're there to see it. They would probably see one every year if you put it out. But the thing is, you have to make a good movie, and these just aren't very good. They're almost tedious to get through. By the way, guys, in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about some new Blu-rays and a really cool press box I received about Father Stu, so we can talk about Mark Wahlberg in a few minutes. But we'll get to that after I try to catch up on some of these questions. Sweet Sour Gone Girl. I thought you were going to say Sweet Sour Clone Girl. Have you seen the trailer for Cobra Kai Season 5? If so, what are your thoughts? Have I seen this? I feel like maybe I have. I try to go out of my way, unless it's force-fed to me, to watch trailers for things nowadays. So I think I did see it, but either way, I'm definitely looking forward to it. The way Season 4 ended off, I was like, this shit's getting dark. John Kreese was arrested for murder and shit? Like, okay. What happened to just no mercy and punching people? You know, like now people are getting arrested for murder? This is great. I love it. It's the best kind of cheese. And by the way, I was going to talk about it on the topics, the main topics today, but I didn't think many people cared. But the creators behind Cobra Kai are actually producing and making a Duke Nukem movie, possibly starring John Cena, which gets me so excited. Because even the music choices they put in Cobra Kai have like that 1980s, 1990s vibe. And that's what Duke Nukem music is all about. So like I think these are like the perfect people to produce that movie and create it, which, yes, please. All right. The next one comes from, and Pazival. No, you're not stupid for asking the same question twice. It's okay, man. Mistakes happen. But thanks for the questions either way, dude. Double Chief says, will Oppenheimer be a return to form for Nolan? You can only hope. At least it's a little bit more simplistic, and it's based on the atomic bomb, the creation of the atomic bomb, right? At least it's based on historical facts, so it's not just made up nonsense from Nolan's mind. So he has some kind of reference point to stick to. So I'm hoping it's a return to form. For me, when it comes to Nolan, I'm just hoping he goes back to the basics. You know, go back to like what you did with The Prestige. Not everything has to be this huge high concept, like Thinking Man movie where it's like you're just trying to confuse your audience. Like, we get it, man. We get it. You like to write screenplays about time, but I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer. It's kind of like the movie I feel like Nolan needs to be making right now. Or fuck, make another Prestige movie. Make The Prestige Part 2. I'd watch that. Claudio Rogajan says, I just said it turned into a joke. Weird, in my opinion. We're talking about Thor still. Yes. I mean, it had jokes. Yes, it had gags. I don't think it turned into a joke, though. It had a purpose. It went somewhere. Fulanito92 says, hey, John. I can finally do 20 pull-ups without stopping and have developed some decent back muscles. Would I beat you in a pull-up contest? Thank you for all the entertainment. Well, you mean lats? Probably. I don't think you would, man. I don't think you would. I don't know. Maybe. Now, the question is, are we doing underhand pull-ups or overhand pull-ups? Now, underhand pull-ups are a lot of utilization of the bicep, which is one of my key features. So if we're doing underhanded pull-ups, I don't think so. I think I could probably do a solid 15 right now. Overhand, I don't know. I haven't done them in a very long time. But let me know if you ever want to compete. The next one comes from Jeremy Cattle, Good Night Studios, who has become a member. Yay! Thanks, man. Dakota, Minnesota says, John, do you like Hobbs and Shaw? I would probably never watch it again. The day I did watch it, did I think it was stupid and kind of dumb? but mildly entertaining, yes. Would I ever watch it again once again? No, I would not. How do you feel about, as of now, planned sequel? Also, would you rather see that more than the regular Fast and Furious movies? Yes, I'd probably rather watch a Hobbs and Shaw sequel than the Fast and Furious movies. I probably would. Yes, because the thing about Hobbs and Shaw is it could just be a pure buddy team-up movie, which I think is like less mind-numbing on the brain than what Fast and Furious has become. So I'd rather just watch a buddy team-up movie. Keep it pure, keep it simple. I think that would work best. So yeah, I honestly probably rather would watch that. Anthony98 says, John, do you think John Kreese is one of the best villains on television? I love me some John Kreese, but maybe not for the same reasons you do. I just think he's like this old senile man who's hilarious. Like, I know old men like John Kreese. Like, I remember in Cobra Kai season 4, he's just in the grocery store and he pops up behind Danielson's wife and Daniel LaRusso's wife or whatever. And he's just like, he steals like her groceries off her cart or something and just walks away without paying for them. It's just like, he's a crazy old man. No matter what you say to him, no matter what logic you spew at him, you could give him a 20-minute dissertation on why this is right. And here are the facts. And he'd just go, yeah, but no mercy. Or he'd go, yeah, in Vietnam, we didn't care about facts. He'd just do some shit like that. And that's why I love me some John Kreese. Claudia Rogajon says, but Goldblum never did the Jurassic Park thing before Jurassic Park. What are you talking about, Claudio? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. You've gone crazy. Jeff Goldblum's always done the weird stuttery talk speech patterns. Even in The Fly, in the 80s, he did it. What are you referring to exactly? Maybe I'm lost. By the way, thanks to all 312 of you watching on this late night edition. I do thank you guys for staying up late with me. It doesn't mean a lot, so thank you for that. We're all vampires of the darkness, suckling at blood. And speaking of suckling at blood, here's a blood pack I got. And speaking of sucking, here's Morbius on 4K, which was just sent to me today with a lenticular cover. It's Morbin time, baby. But we'll talk about these in just a second. All right, let's go to the next one here. Dustin Rich. You said once your Uncle Gary tried to get you to sign a contract, and if you did, he would give you $5 worth of Dairy Queen per week. Can you further explain this contract and the reason for it? I love you guys for remembering the weirdest shit I say sometimes, and I assure you it's all based on truth. So let me back up and tell you the story of Uncle Gary and the $5 Dairy Queen contract, shall we? I would say I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And I was sort of a little asshole at the time. And my uncle, he was like, hey, listen, if you just do good in school and you do everything you're told once a week, I'll give you, I think he said like he'll buy me whatever I want at Dairy Queen. And I was like, okay. And then 7 minutes went by and I was like, I hate you. You're an asshole. And he's like, there goes the deal. So that was the $5 Dairy Queen deal. That's a true story. But at the time, I was just a young kid willing to do whatever it took to get a milkshake from Dairy Queen. Does that sound weird? Can we go to the next question? I assume you guys probably thought that was going to go darker than it was. But I assure you it doesn't. Yeah, so thanks for the question, Dustin. Tyler says, get some sleep, John. Why? I don't need... When you wear shades like this, rose-colored glasses, everything's happy-go-lucky time. I'm ready to go. To be honest with you, I almost didn't do this earlier. I was almost 90% sure I was not going to do this. I was so content. I was watching YouTube videos, eating jelly beans, drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper. But you know what? I felt like I had to talk to you guys, and here we are now. Claudia Rogajon says, these dinos would be dead just from the military. Yeah, you would think once there was an outbreak of like 50 dinosaurs in one little area, the military would come in within 2 hours and they'd probably capture most of the dinosaurs or just shoot them with tranquilizer darts. Keep in mind, these aren't super powered, like, animals that can fly around and turn invisible. Well, I guess one dinosaur could turn invisible in Jurassic World, but either way, these are just like large animals, right? Like if an elephant escaped, like I'm sure a team of guys could find it and shoot it with tranquilizer darts and probably like put it somewhere, right? So I don't know why they couldn't do the same here, but dinosaurs, that's why. Because life always finds a way. Just like Universal Studios always finds a way to fuck up their Jurassic Park sequels. And by the way, when it comes to Universal Studios, I'm almost scared to review Jurassic World Dominion because I will tell you this. Every time in the last 2 years I've ever given a Universal Studios movie a negative review, even a positive review, they've always copyright claimed my videos. If I use video clips, they're definitely going to copyright claim it. If I use a picture, they're going to copyright claim it. Sons of bitches. So either way, so what I did, and the reason you should watch this review when I finally crap it out, is I went to Walmart and I just reenacted everything I talk about with toys in the toy aisle at Walmart. You can't copyright claim that, Universal. That's my original footage. I filmed it. So anyway. Look out for that. Double Chief says, every time the dinosaurs leave the island, the movie goes to shit. The Land Before Time series had better sequels. You know what they should make? Why don't they make a live action or at least semi-live action version of The Land Before Time? Dinosaurs sell movie tickets. They really do. And if you want to cater to a young demographic of people to go see these movies, make a live-action Land Before Time movie. That could be pretty cool. If you handled it right, it could be pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. Every time they focus too much on the human characters, the movie goes to shit. And the thing is, if you're going to focus on human characters, well, why don't you just write an intriguing human character? And that's why they had to go to nostalgia and bring back the original cast, because they knew no one gave a shit. Claudia Rojan says, also, instead of killing them, they capture them. Why? In all fairness, I probably wouldn't kill off, like, dinosaurs either. Like, if you can have zoos that make money by going to look at zebras, I'm sure you could have zoos that make money by going to look at, like, non-death-defying dinosaurs. Like, I get maybe not having the T-Rex at a local zoo. I completely understand that. But there's other dinosaur species that you could have in there that just want to eat leaves. I'd go see that. I'd pay a premium. So the fact that they couldn't just figure out a way to do that, I don't understand. Dakota, Minnesota says, John, would you ever be a guest on John Campia's show if offered? I love his show, and I think your personality would be a great addition to it sometime. Yeah, sure, I would. I would do it, actually. I would. Yes, I would. Potted Plant Entertainment says, are you excited for Halloween Ends, or are you over it? I've been over it since the 2018 one came out. Ever since I heard peanut butter on my penis as a joke that got left in the movie, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be what we want it to be, is it? I'm sort of over it. I thought the last movie, they did some questionable things. So yeah, I'm ready for it to end. But hey, who knows? Maybe this final installment will be the one that we actually want to see. Claudia Rogajan says, villain of Dominion is the villain in the second book. Yeah, he was also in the first movie for 7 minutes wearing a red polo. See, nobody cares. Hayden Cash says, sorry about the typos in my last question anyways. Is Back to the Future 4K trilogy worth $35 on Amazon? I love you, dude. Stay safe. Well, I love you too, man. I would say yes. $35 for all of the movies on 4K? Yeah. I mean, that's a quality trilogy. I would say my only nitpick with Back to the Future on 4K is it almost looks too good. It almost looks too good. Because at the time that movie came out in the 1980s, well, when you watch a movie up on the big screen, it looked a little bit soft. There was sort of like that magic glow. And now on 4K, you can like pinpoint every little prosthetic they're wearing. You can see Michael J. Fox's like makeup on top of his zits. You can see Doc Brown's neck makeup that looks like turkey skin glued to his neck. And I like all those little things. Like, I like seeing like the effects right there on screen. At least you know it's practical. But that's one thing you might notice on 4K that you never noticed before. So, but I would recommend definitely getting it for sure. All right, the next one. I just forgot where I was for a second. I'm sorry. Zepsi Cinema says, what actor/director combo that hasn't been done before would you like to see? Mine is Robert Pattinson, PTA, or Stallone/Tarantino. All right, I'm just going to go with the director. Let's go with Tarantino, and let's go with... I'm trying to think of someone Tarantino... Tarantino hasn't worked with Wahlberg, has he? Put some Mark Wahlberg in a Tarantino movie. I think Tarantino could write some hilarious dialogue for Wahlberg. We'll go with that. Or put Christian Bale in a Tarantino movie too. Really just put anyone in a Tarantino movie. I think that would be a fun performance. But Stallone would work too. Your idea with Stallone and Tarantino actually would sounds really interesting to me as well. I could dig that, yeah. Claudia Rogajon says, thoughts on Moon Knight as a whole, disappointing in my opinion. Oh yeah, Moon Knight was bad. Really bad. And everyone was so excited for it. They're like, oh, it's going to be dark and edgy and push the limits. It was none of those things. Bruce Cook says, hey, John. Over the last 10 years, what big budget movies is the best candidate for a great premise that deteriorated into a CGI mess? Where do you want to start? Where would you like to start with that question? You could throw a dart at a list of 100 movies and probably hit it. God, let me pick one that really fits. I mean, well, Wonder Woman 84 was really bad. That was a big CGI disaster movie. The first Justice League movie was a big CGI disaster movie. It was really bad. But you said great premise. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that had a great premise that failed because of the CGI sloppiness of it. I mean, the newest Jurassic Park movie is the newest example I could give you. There was something I was just thinking about this the other day, and if it comes back to me, I'll say it. But there was something I was thinking about the other day, like a movie that had a great concept that failed. Oh, I was thinking about Prometheus, and I was like, how great of a concept that movie was, but how the execution just didn't quite stick the landing. Terminator: Dark Fate had an interesting premise, but we know how that turned out. Someone said Sharknado. Yes, I agree. Christopher Nolan should direct Sharknado. Claudia Rogajon says, no, John, it turned the character Thor into a joke. He's serious when yeah, I get what you're saying. Thor now is just a comedic gag character. I get what you're saying. But every once in a while, when he gets serious, it's fun. Dara Harmsey, John, when are you coming to South Africa, Cape Town? Not exactly the quickest thing to get to, is it? It's not like I can get in my car and drive there in 7 minutes. But I would like to go to South Africa. And isn't Cape Town where the most white sharks are on the coast? That's where I would like to be put into a shark cage with all the great whites, and they just dump blood on me. Just dump pig's blood all over me. That's my worst fear come to life, but I want to do it. I need that. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see. You guys are killing it with the questions. Okay. Let's try to go quicker here. ONR says nothing, but thanks for the super chat. Luis Javier Rubio says Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn, huh? Yeah, man, I don't know. That's what they're saying right now. That's the rumor. It scares me. It frightens me. I don't want to see it. Please don't do it. We don't want it. No one asked for this. But that's what they're saying. I don't hate I like Lady Gaga music. Sometimes I listen to it when I'm feeling a little bit frisky. And I got some techno lights. But I don't need to see her as Harley Quinn. Jeremy Cattle says, good night. Or Jeremy Cattle, Good Night Studios says, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the one who told you that I discovered your channel from a guy at a Justin Bieber concert who had your shirt. I vaguely remember that. And that's hilarious. Not only that's how you discovered it, but there was a fucking guy that went to a Justin Bieber concert wearing my shirt, which I don't know if it had my face on it or if it had one of my other designs I've made. But that to me is a beautiful story, and I do thank you for sharing it with me. I love things like that. I love that. Like, it's so intriguing to me. I would have given anything to be a fly on the wall to see that guy wearing my fucking face at a Justin Bieber concert. That would have been worth it alone. All right, we got a super duper chat here from Tim Roberts, and thanks for the very generous super chat, man. Very too kind of you. Hey, John. Been watching you since 2015. I gave up on movies until Maverick. Hollywood has forced me to watch a lot of foreign films. With that said, have you seen RRR? Bollywood oddly satisfying movie I didn't know I needed. Well, Tom, thank you for the question. Did I say Tim or Tom in the first place? If I said Tim, I'm sorry. Let me punish myself. How dare I? But either way, Tom, I have not seen RRR yet. Is it RRR or is it Raw, Raw, Raw? I'm going to say Raw, Raw, Raw. I haven't seen it yet. No, I've heard it's cool. I saw like a few screenshots of it. Haven't seen it yet, man. I want to. I just haven't got a chance to. I've heard it's like mildly entertaining, worst case scenario. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Is the movie good, everyone? Have you watched it yet? I've been rewatching Stranger Things season 1 through 4 again. I just was in the Stranger Things mood. What is this? Okay, there we go. The next one comes from Jeremy Cattle again. Anyways, besides that Justin Bieber concert story, how are you doing? Anything new going on in your life? Lots of new stuff, but I'll wait to share it with you once I know it's a true, factual thing happening. Nothing too crazy, though. I promise you that. If you want the real slice of life, in a couple weeks I have to drive to Indianapolis to get some eye operation looked at, which is sort of expensive, and I don't want to do it. But getting old sucks. It's just like little weird things happen. You're like, am I falling apart? What's happening to me? Am I degrading slowly over time, like Jeff Goldblum did in the Fly, where I just eat food and puke it back up and I turn into a giant fucking bug? I don't know. But really, everything's going pretty good. Just trying to catch back up on YouTube stuff. I might have a really cool deal worked out to share like an upcoming soundbar system with you guys that looks really cool. I might see an early screening of Black Phone next week. And then I'm trying to think of anything else big and exciting is happening anytime soon. That's pretty much it for now. Raymond Watt says Jurassic Park 3 doesn't seem so bad now. No, Jurassic Park 3 was always sort of like that rainy day late night movie, right? It's not that great, but it's easy to get through. And it gives you sort of like more or less some things you want to see. Jurassic Park 3 to me is like the movie you can watch as you're eating food, right? Like, oh, you get home, you got your Panda Express. Well, I want to watch something as I eat, but I don't want to like, watch something dark and depressing. It's just something easy to get through. Jurassic Park 3 is that movie. Jurassic Park 3 is the movie you watch when you come home and you want to eat Panda Express. That's Jurassic Park 3. When I want orange chicken and dinosaurs, I watch Jurassic Park 3. Now put that on the Blu-ray cover. Claudia Rogajon says Jeff Goldblum didn't do the stuttering in The Fly. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? And if he didn't, well, maybe his character in Jurassic Park has a stutter. So he started doing something different for that character of Ian Malcolm. So maybe his character has a stutter. Let's agree to disagree on this. Michael Parton says, though the Jurassic series have nothing but B movies after the first, I'm still waiting for the new Jaws trilogy reboot. It'll probably happen at some point. Is that happening, or wasn't there another shark movie coming out, or are you making that up? I vaguely remember them talking about a new shark movie coming out. And now they're not dumb enough to make a Jaws reboot, but they'll make another shark movie called something else. A fun story though, in a Q&A with John Krasinski, he did say with his Quiet Place movies, he sort of wanted to make a Jaws-esque movie for a new generation. Just on a side note. Your name here says, hi, John. Have a chance to hit the gym lately? I actually did go to the gym today. I went 2 times the last week, just trying to get back into the swing of things. I've been I've been getting back into the habit. Shoop Rich Piana. But seriously, hope you're doing well. Yeah, man. I like every time I go to the gym, when I'm done going, I feel way better than I did before. So I usually set a timer on my Apple Watch, and I stick to like 25 to 30 minutes. But what I do in those 25 minutes is I don't ever stop. I just hit one lift after another. I don't stop. I don't rest. I just keep going. So I treat it like cardio and weightlifting at the same time, which I think is what I think that's more beneficial, at least where I'm at in life. But usually like 25 minutes in, constant working out. I can do like 7 lifts, 8 lifts in that time frame. And that's usually enough for me. So yeah, I did go today, and thank you for asking. Michael Barton says, with all the publicity coming from Ezra Miller, do you think it would be best if DC canceled The Flash, since Warner Bros. is unable to recast? If I were them, I wouldn't recast shit, and I wouldn't cancel anything. I'd be like, I put my money in. Listen, the thing with Ezra Miller is he sounds like a piece of shit, yes, and he keeps getting into trouble, but he hasn't like really done anything unspeakable. You know what I mean? He hasn't done anything to where like disgustingly gross where you just have to like cancel him. If I were them, I would just put the movie out as soon as they can. Just get it out and done with and out of the way and move on and go from there. Now, would I recast Ezra Miller if I were them after I put this first movie out? Probably. I would try to go back into that movie and have a little wiggle room to be able to cast a new version of Flash to get rid of Ezra Miller. And in all fairness, I never thought he was great as the Flash. I was surprised that was like their number one casting choice. So that's what I would do. Would I cancel the entire movie at this point once it's already been filmed? No. Double Chief says, I miss the days of you and Stuckman exploring his basement, making homoerotic jokes, and putting up movie posters. When will we get more of that? Probably never, man. Unfortunately, probably never. The days of just being pure and unadulterated are gone forever. Not for me, though. But probably never is the best answer I can give you. But if that makes a tear trickle down your cheek, well, cheer up, because we're going to the next question. Maverick says, RRR, best movie of the year. with superhero movie we needed. Okay, you put all that together. It was hard to decipher what you were saying, but now I understand. I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it this week, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. Claudio Rogajan says, Moon Knight comic was brutal. That's why I was excited. Yeah, I remember you specifically telling me how dark and brutal it was. And then you watch the show and it's just like, this is like every other Disney Plus series superhero show. But I do remember you telling me that, and I was like, ooh, that sounds really cool. But they couldn't do it. MKF30 says, who killed more to you, John Matrix or John Rambo? I'm always more of a John Rambo guy. I think John Matrix is like the cliche epitome of like a 1980s action star. Like when you think of like over the top action cheese star of the 1980s, it's John Matrix all day. But when it comes to someone that actually has like more depth, it's definitely John Rambo. Michael Parton says, can you do a Mr. Freeze impression? No, I can't. Oh, you mean like an Arnold one? What killed the dinosaurs? Jurassic Park Dominion. I don't know. I can never again. Don't ever make me do that again. What killed the dinosaurs? Universal Studios. All right. Let's just keep going. Tom Roberts says, hi, John. I've been watching you since about 2015. Oh, I already answered this earlier. I'm sorry. But thanks once again, Tom. ONR says, would you shout out my dad? He's Mike Rochburns. Ah, my crotch burns. And it slightly does. Get the ointment and don't ask questions. Claudio Rojan says, look up recent news of Ezra Miller, John. Yeah, I heard that he supposedly kidnapped some teenage girl, but really he didn't, and like they knew each other. Listen, I guess cancel the fucking Flash movie. Just cancel it. It's done. I take back everything I said. BTS says, John, pick Flick or Metzler or Betsier. What? I don't understand what just happened there. Claudio Rogajan says, also Moon Knight doesn't have superpowers usually. He doesn't? Oh. Just his alter ego does? All right, guys. I want to talk about a few new movies that were sent to me, and you guys can keep asking questions, and I'll get to all the questions that you guys ask for the next couple minutes. And then we'll wrap up this episode of the live show, late night edition. But don't worry, don't leave. We're not going anywhere just yet. Whenever I say we're wrapping the show up, we talk for another 30 minutes. So don't you go anywhere. If anything, go grab something cold to drink, some 3 ice cubes, no more, no less, or something salty to eat. But I want to talk about a few new movies that were sent to me. And the first thing I want to talk about is this big press kit from Father Stu, starring Mark Wahlberg, based on a true story of a guy who was sort of a deviant, a no good, and he became a priest. But let's open this up and check it out. So inside of this, you have a swear jar. It says, holy shit. And then inside of it, I guess you just, every time you cuss, you put a little thing in here. So anyway, that could be cool. I could put some like Sour Patch Kids in there or something. I don't know. How about every time I swear, I have to eat a Sour Patch Kid? That's what I want to do. And then, of course, I got the Blu-ray here, Father Stu. I haven't watched this yet. Is this good? I mean, it looked like an interesting enough movie to watch at like 12:30 at night as you're sort of laying in bed. I think Mark Wahlberg would be mildly entertaining. Hey, what are you doing over there? Hey, you want to get religious or something? Hey, my name's Father Stu. Why don't you shut your fucking mouth? Hey, where's your mother? She's in confessional. Guess what I just did? So anyway, Father Stu, have you guys seen it yet? Let me know. And It doesn't say when it comes out, so I can't even tell you. But anyway, it's available on DVD and Blu-ray. Someone says, cool story, pretty boring movie though. Is it? Okay. Is it sort of like by the numbers? All right. The next one, the next couple movies I have here was, of course, I showed this a few minutes ago. It's Morbin Time, baby. The biggest flop of the year, not only once, but twice, was Morbius. This movie deserved a flop. There's nothing redeeming about this movie. The script, the screenplay, the way this movie looks, the way it was shot, looks like it came out in 2001. Really bad movie. It could have been cool. It could have been something like Blade. But Sony doesn't know how to make a movie. So anyway, that's Morbius. And then we have The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent on 4K starring, and by the way, these glasses are from this movie. The one, the only, Nicolas Cage. I could eat a peach for hours. Now, when it comes to this movie, everything with Nicolas Cage is great. When it gets a little too bombastic and crazy and over the top with the action subplot story, I wasn't a big fan of it. But Nicolas Cage, though, you can't go wrong. And that's why I sleep on this Nicolas Cage pillow. Well, I've never slept on it because it's probably very uncomfortable, but I have it. And this will always have a place in my office forever. And then last but certainly not least, I got The Northman on 4K, which I've heard looks phenomenal on 4K. I'm really looking forward to watching this one rainy night. I did see this in theaters. I do have a first reaction video of this. For the most part, I enjoyed this. The majority of this movie, I really did enjoy. I like the Viking. I like the old Viking fables. There's just little sections in this movie I wasn't the hugest fan of, but overall, really did enjoy it. Now, I understand this wasn't like the biggest, most highest budgeted movie of all time, so I wasn't expecting like the next Gladiator, even though that's what I wish this would have been more of. But it has sort of that crazy, weird art house style. I just remember one scene early on where Willem Dafoe and the little boy in this movie are in like a tent making fart and burping noises. I was like, what is this? But for the most part, really did enjoy The Northman, and I bet it looks great on 4K. Okay. Those are the movies I wanted to share with you. Someone said, hey, great pillow. Yeah, it's a beautiful pillow. Love Morbin Power Time. There should be more Viking movies. I agree, man. That's such an interesting time period. It baffles my brain we don't have more Viking movies, but we did have a Viking series that I never watched. The next one comes from Claudia Rogajan. It is also weird using real illness as a joke. Are you talking about in Moon Knight where he has split personality disorder? I mean, everything. I don't know. I wasn't offended by it personally, but Brian James. But then again, the Joker has a mental illness, and we sort of capitalize on that a little bit. So, Brian James Tube says, "Why movie in 2023 you're most excited for? Which movie in 2023 am I most excited for? I don't know. Avatar Part 4." What's coming out in 2023? Let's see. 2023 movies. It's hard to keep up anymore. Everything gets canceled or delayed or pushed back. So movies I was looking forward to probably aren't happening anymore. Let's see. What do we have here? Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 could be intriguing. Let's see. We have The Flash. We have Aquaman. Yeah. Dune Part 2 supposedly coming out. I don't know. Seems a little soon. What are you guys most excited for in 2023 coming out? I haven't really done my research on what's coming out. I mean, nothing's blowing me away thus far, I'm reading. Let's see, Blue Beetle's coming out. Wonka. Ugh. Star Wars Rogue What? Is that still coming out in 2023? Squadron? Oh, there's a new Star Trek movie supposedly coming out. So yeah, let me know what you guys are most excited for in 2023. Mission Impossible, yeah. I am looking forward to that shit. It's just like, is Tom Cruise going to live or die? I'm not quite sure, but maybe he'll break his ankle again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Indiana Jones 5. I need to see the trailer for that movie to tell you if I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good, but listen. I've said that before and I was disappointed. So I'm looking forward to the new Indiana Jones. Spider-Verse 2. Shazam 2, Indiana Jones. Yeah, there's a handful of good movies. What big original movies are coming out, though? Claudio Rogajon says he has no superpowers, just his fist and his insanity. That's all I got. I got my mitts and I got my insanity. Louis Berry says Warner Brothers have over a year get Chalamet as the Flash. Yeah, but that'd be a lot of reshoots, man. I don't know. Just why don't they only do one scene at the end of the Flash where Ezra Miller's Flash just blows up? Like unexplained just blows up, and then like a new Flash comes through another dimension, and he's like, I'm here now, I'm the new guy, and then it just ends. Boom, done. I solved your problem. Brian James Tube says, Father Stu is good, bro. Wahlberg and Gibson give a great performance. A little slow, but good overall. Okay, good to hear. Yeah, I'll savor the flavor for another rainy day, even though today was a rainy day. Oppenheimer, is that 20? Yeah, it is 2023, isn't it? Michael Parton says Dungeons and Dragons. I've heard a little bit about that. It could be cool. I think a cool fantasy movie, we definitely need it. But outside of like something like Lord of the Rings, they just don't do that well. MKF30 says, which remake was better, Firestarter or Carrie? I was not a fan of either of those. They sort of both share the exact same tone and vibe. So I didn't watch all of either. So I'm going to say neither. Just watch the originals. Speaking of like 80s movies, I was in the mood to rewatch E.T. earlier today. I think it was the anniversary of E.T. or something. But after watching so many episodes of Stranger Things, I was like, I just need to watch E.T. now. Just thought I'd share that with everyone. Paul Allen's card says, wouldn't Stranger Things Season 4 be better if instead of Eleven going to the underground bunker to get her powers back, she went to a Cobra Kai dojo and learned the way of the fist to beat up her school bullies? Oh, absolutely. If she's just showing Cobra Kai, all her problems would be solved, clearly. And you wouldn't need Vecna. You don't need Vecna. Fuck Vecna. You need John Kreese. Send John Kreese to the Upside Down to fight Vecna. He'll sweep that fucker's leg. Done, over. He was in Vietnam, okay? It doesn't matter what kind of supernaturalistic powers you have. He was in Vietnam. Double Chief says, oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Double Chief. I hope Indy 5 is good and a good ending to the series. I hope they redeem themselves, and I think I have faith that they will. Make it a Batman movie with Keaton and call it Batman Continues, from Michael Parton. I'm really hoping they have more Keaton. Like, I'm hoping Keaton is a very large role in the new Flash movie because I could give a shit less about Ezra Miller as Flash. So, yeah, they should have just made a new Michael Keaton Batman movie, really, when you think about it. MK30 says, yeah, Transformers Beast Wars movie looks good. Isn't that completely animated? Or no, that is live action. There's a new live action Transformers movie coming out, though. Yeah. John admit there are only 3 Indiana Jones movies. You know it to be true. Oh, that's a fact. Yeah. We don't, what, 4th movie? 2007? What? What are you talking about? That never happened. All right. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the live show right there. I just wanted to hang out for a little bit, talk about a few things I cared about, hear what you guys had to say, and then immediately go to bed. Actually, I'm going to go watch YouTube videos for the next 7 hours and eat frozen pizza. Batgirl has Keaton also. Does it? Was that confirmed? I guess maybe you're right. Doesn't Batgirl also have... what is his name? I just forgot his name. From The Mummy. Brendan Fraser. Yeah. Isn't he in Batgirl as well as a villain? And once again, big thanks to Tom Roberts earlier for the MVP super chat. Thanks, Tom. Really appreciate it, man. Just found an old unboxing vid from you with a hot, blonde, nice girlfriend. I did it so... That was... What was that? It was like 7 years ago? All right, guys. Yeah, John, thanks for the live. Much love. Well, much love to you too, man. As always, guys, I want to say thanks for joining us. J.K. Simmons, what? J.K. Simmons would be a good Mr. Freeze. I do agree. Just have him give the same performance he gave in Whiplash and Batman. Done. Great. Not quite my tempo. Not quite my tempo. We got a squeaker today, everyone. His name is Neiman. All right, one last question. Lewis Berry says, Aquaman 2 should replace Heard, Deborah, and Wolf. No, you get, what's her name from Game of Thrones? That's who should replace Amber Heard. Just completely just reshoot those scenes. Have her come in. No one will complain. All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for the questions. Have a good night. Thanks for staying up late with me. And, hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I'll see you guys next time. It was 5 years ago. You're right. Oh, gosh. Okay. Emilia Clarke. Yes, thank you. My brain turns into mush at night. But either way, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time. And before you go, give the video a like because it sticks it to the man at YouTube. It helps the algorithm. I do appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.